those who are speaking up. We also have namby-pamby sites. I'm not going to give you the whole list of those because there are too many of them. Run by punk-ass bitches. Run by idiots brainwashed into believing everything is their fault. Why are they brainwashed? It's because people pump this at them all day, every day. That is a form of brainwashing. When you are constantly telling your wife that she's a fucking dumb, lazy cunt, and you're telling her that every fucking day, you don't think that's abusive? Holy hell. If I call you a cunt, there's a reason for it. You got an innocent person either harmed or killed. I'm not fine with either one of those. So what about this site? Well, this guy, I agree with most of his stuff. Once in a while, he does something stupid like posts up about Temple Grandin. Temple Grandin is not autistic. She is a fucking sociopath. Now, one of the things that the people in this man's group, they are typing that they have similar experiences to mine. That no matter what, it's always their fault. That we're told to go to these services like therapy when we're abused. And we're supposed to spend all this time and this money on therapy so that we can vent to somebody about our abuse who's not going to do anything. Well, with all due respect, I went to a lot of therapists. I didn't go to a single one of them to vent. I went to them because they are mandated reporters. I need people who are autistic to speak out. One of the things that many of these people who are autistic speak up about is the same thing that Chloe Roma was speaking about when women are raped. What does Chloe Roma do? She's got a YouTube site. It's called Roma Army Men's Rights. And I was all for her until she started telling people to lie in court. No, that's not going to fucking fly, dumbass. You know, I had to do some pretty underhanded things in order to try to get court dates, but I was always honest in court. In court, that's what I fought so hard for, is so that I could show the truth in court. Of course, I was never allowed a court date, was I? You guys treat us like complete trash. We're less than second-hand citizens to you. The guy who runs this site, the one that he posted up today, he posed the question, is autism trauma? He says no. I disagree. Autism is trauma, the same way that homelessness is victimization. If you are homeless, you will be victimized. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you are homeless for any significant amount of time, the cops are going to be your enemies. Most of the people around here, they bitch about how much everything sucks, but they won't talk to the police. They follow rule number 1 for good reason. The cops are not our friends, and each one of these people has gone in alone to try to get help, and each one of them has been turned down. They know not to go to the cops. They've been trained by the police not to go to the police. The police are not your friends if you are broke. If you're homeless, you don't matter. What matters is public opinion. You say I shouldn't care what anybody thinks. No, I absolutely should. People are fucking dead over what you think. Over 200,000 Iraqis are dead because of what you think. You say you shouldn't care what other people think? What other people think could result in them fucking killing you, or killing your sister, or killing your niece. The fact that people threaten to do those things is bad enough. The fact that people actually took it upon themselves to enter into my sister's physical space, well, that makes it so that I have to go kill people to pretend like I'm doing the manly thing, don't I? No, I don't need to pretend to do the manly thing. I know 100% that what I should be doing is fucking killing these people. I know 100%, beyond any shadow of a doubt, that if I were to blow Leslie Snell's head off, that she would never do this to another living creature so long as she lives. Why? Because she wouldn't be living. She'd be dead. She'd be in the ground where she belongs. Now, is this according to me, or is this according to you guys? This is according to you guys. I think she belongs in fucking prison. Sarah Bacon thinks she should be shot in the head. Candace Bondurant thinks she should be shot in the head. A lot of people think Leslie Snell should be shot in the head. Oh, if somebody did that to me, if someone did that to me, I'd this and I'd that. No, you won't. You're fucking cowards. You said that you would shoot those people. I said I would turn them in. Between the two of us, you're the liar. You never shot them. They did exactly the things that you said you would shoot somebody over. Not only that, they did it to you and your fucking kids. God damn, you're a special kind of stupid. Maybe you should have worked together to try to turn them in instead of embarrassing yourself by lying to me. And then claiming that I was slandering you. Well, that takes a special kind of stupid. I have a reputation for recording everything and for exposing people on my YouTube channel. Maybe you should try being honest. Especially when you know somebody is doing that. When you know that somebody is going to post up the evidence if you fucking lie to them. When you know that somebody is intelligent enough that they're going to fucking catch you. Maybe you should rethink your strategy. This guy with his YouTube channel, unlike TAW, that's the Autism World. Not to be confused with the Autism channel, which is a simp-ass bitch. The guy on the Autism channel, that guy he's barely functioning. I mean, he's high enough functioning to speak, which is great, but he sells a false narrative because that's what he's been pounded into his head his whole life. So he sells false narratives because it makes his family happy. Now, this guy here is different. The guy with the Autism World, you know, he turned into a namby-pamby. He was speaking out. Now he's all about selling his merchandise. And yeah, he's not advocating for autistic people. He hasn't been for over 2 years. He's not actually advocating. He's trying to get money out of people. Of course, he's got the ability to do those things. He's got the assistance. He's got the education. He's got the roof over his head, and he's got a family that helps. So, I mean, shit. The guy's pampered as a motherfucker. This guy, just like all of the other autistic folks that I know, they're doing even just barely okay. The only reason they're doing just barely okay is because they got a shit ton of help. Now, I'm sure the guy from the Autism World isn't going to try selling me some bullshit that he did it all by himself. But at the same time, he is now stabbing autistic people in the back. He's selling content. Selling it. Now, the guy who made the thing about autism versus trauma, most of the things that, and mind you, this is long-term trauma. Short-term trauma and long-term trauma have different responses. If someone does a complete 180 turnaround, you know they're being abused. That is the first fucking sign. A lot of people don't want to turn in their abusers. They're afraid to. They don't think it'll do any good, so they never make an effort. One of the ladies here, she said that she'd speak up on my YouTube channel, but she ain't willing to talk to the cops. I let her know if anybody here needs to go talk to the cops, I'll go with them. She didn't like that idea. You don't talk to the cops. That's not what you do when you're homeless. Why are each of these people so afraid of the cops? Every single one of them has been victimized for going in alone, which is why I offer to go in with them, hoping for equality, hoping somebody will go in with me to turn in these crimes. After 6 years of jumping through hoops to get help turning in the evidence that I don't have the skills to turn in, I don't have the ability. I've spent 6 years trying to get people to teach me. But nobody ever teaches me. They take my money and run. Did Mandy Singer take my money and run? No, she did not. She absolutely did not. I gave her $400 so that she could buy a computer, because we couldn't do this stuff without her having a computer. She gets to keep the computer. It's hers. She did do the work. She was intimidated. She was scared. And that is legit. Mandy Singer has every right to bitch about the situation with me at her house. Every fucking right to bitch. Abso-fucking-lutely. And I am not going to pretend for one moment that she doesn't. That was a fucked situation. No, it's not my fault that it was a fucked situation. No, it's not Mandy's fault that it was a fucked situation. We were both being victimized, and we both did the best that we could with what we had. When she ended up having to be the only child care for her grandkids, well, both her and I had to readjust what we were doing. Even though the amount of time that I was able to get help was reduced drastically, that's not Mandy's fault. Oh, sure, she could have told her daughter, oh, well, you know, you just need to quit your job and take care of your own kids. She could have done that. But no, Mandy is an intelligent person. I made mention to her on several occasions about how her voice was the reason that her autistic grandchild, well, her voice is the reason that he acts the way that he does. Now, I didn't present it to her in that way. I didn't want her to get standoffish and hateful. People don't like being told that they screwed up. But I let a little whisper in her ear, so to speak. And she actually recorded herself during one of those situations, and she listened to the recording and she said, oh my God, I'm a bitch. I didn't realize I sound so angry and hateful. I wouldn't listen to me either. Hell yes, Mandy Singer learns from her mistakes. If you point it out, she'll fucking pay attention. Well, unless she's real hardcore about something. For her, having a grandson who's half black, she wants to make sure that he's in a safe world and in a safe environment. So, of course, what did we stop being friends over? She tried to blame white people because of Will Smith smacking Chris Rock across the face. Will Smith's got the reach. He's even got a little bit of boxing practice under him. But I think Chris Rock can knock his bitch ass out. I think Chris Rock would fuck Will Smith up. Now, all these people who think that I should kill people and beat people up and all this other stuff, these are your fucking suggestions. You say that you're going to help me, and then you don't. You talk about how you would hurt people. And I ask you not to do that, and you do it every time we talk after that. It's kind of like that old man. I asked him to stop calling me the N-word, and then he just wouldn't stop. When I told him that I was offended by that word, that I don't want to hear it, then he would use it in every fucking sentence. Kind of like the cops. When I told them I wasn't able to do something, they told me that's what I have to do. When I told them I was able to do something, they'd tell me, well, you can't do it that way. They let other people do it that way. Why can't I? Why are the rules different for me? Oh yeah, because you don't want to look. Megan Missegate has committed enough felonies. She started off with misdemeanors. And she could have actually put some effort towards not doing such stupid shit. When I brought her to the crimes that I was told to go to her to turn in, she never once tried to turn it in. Never once. Not even once. Where is her proof? I want to see evidence that she tried to help me to turn in Robert Franklin Mornick. I want to see evidence that she tried to help me turn in Scott DaCosta. And you know what? Both of those I have. The evidence with Scott DaCosta, I have that recorded, not on my YouTube channel. That was before I was arrested on false charges. Megan Missegate and I finally were working together to try to turn in Scott DaCosta after, well, when did I first start trying to turn in Scott DaCosta? First time I tried to turn him in was in May of 2018. May. Before that, I was just trying to turn in his officers. But no matter what, without someone there and present, they can lie outright and make any claim they want. An at-risk adult cannot be forced to go in to speak to the police alone, especially if it is an at-risk adult who is homeless, especially if it is an at-risk adult who is a male, especially if it is an at-risk adult who is disabled. I didn't ask for Tourette syndrome, and I didn't ask for your abuse. See, here's the thing that was brought up by many of the people in this guy's site when he posted that up today. They're all explaining, all of them, they're explaining that they're having trauma responses and being abused for having trauma responses. That we're being abused because we're different. We're not retarded. We're smarter than you. We have analytical minds, whereas you guys, well, you're not capable. Neurotypicals are not capable. You're just not. You're not intelligent enough. You should be autistic. Autism is a gift. But many of the traits associated with autism are also the traits exhibited by people who have gone through long-term physical, psychological, and sexual abuse. Why is that? It's because of the mentally ill tag. Our parents know that they can rape us and say, oh, he's mentally ill. Our friends know that they can rape us and say, oh, he's mentally ill. And yeah, rape could be interchangeable with a lot of different crimes. You guys think that rape is the worst thing out there and child molestation is the worst thing out there. No, there are things that are far worse, like falsely accusing a man of either one. When Amy Witcher's husband was molesting her daughter, and her daughter spoke up about it, Amy Witcher was mandated to report it. According to the state of Nebraska, if your child tells you they're being abused and you don't try to turn that in, you've committed a felony. Amy Witcher is a felon, just not convicted. She knew that her daughter was being molested and she did nothing. She helped the meth addict who molested her daughter. She helped him to get away with it. My mother helped him to get away with it. Just as my mother helped my little brother Michael get away with molesting children. And I do say children because although only one of them accused him, the other one exhibits extreme boundary issues, especially with family. My niece should not have a crush on me. My niece should not have a crush on Eric. We're her uncles. You have any idea how creepy it was to be at my grandma's funeral, getting macked on by my niece? Holy shit. Like she thought it was okay. Like this is an okay thing. After my mom helps my little brother to get away with molesting his stepdaughter, his actual daughter is at my grandma's funeral flirting with my older brother. We ran into a lot of girls like that on Pearl Street, looking for love in the wrong places. They're not getting the right kind of love from daddy. But then they also have this association where they think that sex means love. Of course my niece would love me. I'm a good man. And she could tell that right away. She also knows her dad's a piece of shit. Someday she's going to be 18. When she turns 18, she can get a hold of me and we'll take we'll take her daddy down. We will make certain that he goes to prison for what he's done. But until then, she just has to wait. She just has to take the abuse and she has to shut the fuck up. Because if she speaks up, she'll be abused. Just like Amy Witcher's abused for speaking up. My mom has a long history of helping out sex offenders while claiming that she hates them. If she hates sex offenders so much, why did she help out Michael with getting away with molesting his stepdaughter? If she hates child molesters so much, why did she keep on going back to my grandpa's? It's because she wanted things. My grandpa had a lot of money. How much of that money did I see? None. Every dollar I ever got out of my grandpa, I fucking earned. My mom also helps out my Uncle Greg, not my Uncle Greg. As far as I know, my Uncle Greg is not a sexual predator. He did try to murder a woman once. Her name was Loretta Sparks. It's Jerry Sparks' sister. The car he tried to murder her in was my first car. I had to fix it and replace the windshield because it had bullet holes in it. He told me where he was standing when he shot at the car. Now, he was trying to tell me he was just trying to scare Loretta. No, he got out with a .22 long rifle and he plugged two of them. I went and stood when he was telling me the story, I went and stood where he told me that he was standing. And I stood there. I said, right here? He said, yeah, right there. I said, I see the headrest right behind those two fucking bullet holes. You were trying to fucking kill her. He didn't like that. He got into an argument with my mom over whether or not he was going to sell me that piece of shit car. Why? Because I fucking called him out for trying to fucking murder somebody for telling him no. No means no, Uncle Greg. When you sell a woman a car but you won't sign over the title, and then you try to fucking murder her in that goddamn car. You know, Loretta paid for that fucking car. What my Uncle Greg should have done is fix that fucking car and give it to Loretta. She fucking paid for it. She almost paid for it with her life. But we're going to talk about my Uncle James and my Uncle Matt. These are the Delaplanks, not Bruises. My grandma, she had 5 different kids, 2 different men. My mom has 4 kids with 3 men. Well, 4 men if you consider that Tara's dad was never in the picture. Scott's her dad. Michael Scott Wade is the only father my little sister has ever known. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of people thinking that it's okay to take advantage of the most at-risk people in this country. The autism world, that guy is a fucking sellout. He's only after selling his merchandise. Clickbait. It's a business for him. It's not about speaking out for the actual victims. Now, the guy who has the site that this is named after, he hasn't turned into a complete and total bitch yet. I say yet because he's starting to lean towards it. But you can see that autistic people, well, we're exhibiting traits that are not autistic traits. They're labeled as autistic traits, but they're not. They're trauma responses. Autism is a fucking gift. Autism is a gift. And those of you who want to say, oh, well, you don't have a son or a daughter who can't speak. Well, you got to change their diaper. You got to change their pants when they're a grown-ass adult. You know what? I would. And I have. Guess what? You put me together in a room with somebody who is autistic and cannot speak, we're still going to have fun together.
One day that they closed Walmart.
You can ask Laura Nelson about it. Ask Laura Nelson about me and her son. Ask Laura Nelson about Nova Wilmuth and her son. Laura Nelson, she's going to die. It's going to happen. It's a fact. Now, the fact that I make that statement, well, some people might try to twist that into a threat. No, absolutely not. Everyone dies. That is a fact. Everyone fucking dies. Your mother is going to die. Your son is going to die. You are going to die. I am going to die. Every single person that you know, every single person that you have ever met and ever will meet, they're all going to die. No one gets to live forever, and thank goodness for that. The world changes when we make it change. The homeless, they're all bitches. The whole country is full of homeless bitches. And I'm not talking about females. I'm talking about prison. Prison bitches. They'll just lay down and take it. Between doing something about it and bitching, they will just bitch. If you're doing something about it, you can say the same exact things that you say when you're bitching. But it's not bitching anymore because you're doing something about it. I don't speak up on my channel just to vent. I speak up on my channel so that at least there is one person who is speaking up and telling the truth, who isn't a fucking coward. There's a big difference between running away from your problems and making a strategic withdrawal. I have made many strategic withdrawals to keep people safe. People who let me know that they were being threatened, harassed, and intimidated, not just by the public, but also by law enforcement. This includes my little sister, only 6 months ago, and Candace Bondurant over 5 years ago. That's a lot of time in between there for something you think people are leaving me alone over. Oh no, they're not just fucking with me, they're also fucking with my family. Now maybe my sister lied about that. Maybe she didn't. But I am an equalitarian. I believe that Scott DeCosta should have the right to defend himself. I absolutely do. I think that Ted Bollinger should be allowed to defend himself. I absolutely do. He should be allowed to defend himself in court. Absolutely. Even with what he did to his daughter, I do believe that he should have the opportunity to defend himself against the accusations brought forth by Alicia and Natalie Bollinger. That's right. Natalie and Alicia Bollinger. That's who spoke out about Ted Bollinger raping them. Their own words. Their own words. A lot of people, they want me to shut up because they can't utilize their fucking brains. No dead person is worth a living human being. Your reputation as a dead person, I don't care about your reputation as a dead person. I'm going to tell the truth. If you don't like that I told the truth about one of your dead friends, keep in mind Christine Bouhit was my friend too. Christine Bouhit, despite her drug addiction and the many, many, many times she fucked over me and fucked over Ed Simmons and fucked up over her own son Avery, I still cared about her. I still saw her as a human being, thought of her as a human being. She's fucking dead. She's pushing daisies. I can't think of a better place for her. I mean, it's a good thing that she's dead, but it doesn't help me out any. Matter of fact, it makes things worse for me because of the evidence that she destroyed and the fact that I can't get that back without a judge. Meanwhile, a judge ain't gonna do shit because in 6 years, I have been denied the rights that I am entitled to as a disabled American. Outright denied those rights and prevented from doing the paperwork. That's the important part, the paperwork. Órale, mi hombre, mucho Raquel Grande, ¿sí? I said, órale, mi hombre, mucho Raquel Grande, ¿sí?
Trying to go down there?
Nope.
Where are you going?
I was just going for a walk, trying to not have a panic attack.
What's going on?
Well, homeless people are afraid to talk to the cops.
What?
Problem is, I need to talk to the cops. I need somebody there and present so I can turn in the crimes committed by the cops here in Hood River.
What?
They committed a lot of crimes against me, also against Dean, and against many other people out here. So I'm trying to turn that in. But all those people are like, well, it won't make any difference. They tell me all these stories about how it won't work, and then they tell me the stories about how they tried, and all of them have the same story about the time that they tried. Every single one of them went in by themselves to try to turn these in, and every single one of them was victimized for it.
So where are you going right now? Police station?
No, I can't. Not alone. I'm smarter than that. I gotta find somebody to go with me. You could.
What are you going to say?
Huh. Well, you can come actually take a look at some evidence so you know that it's true, but the main thing is I need somebody there so I'm not blown off. So you don't necessarily have to know a goddamn thing. You just got to be there to observe the situation and my rights. I do record it though, so I mean it will be recorded, but the fact is if I record it and it's just me, there's nothing to stop them from arresting charges and taking my evidence.
Fuck, man, it's a little hard, man. That's fucking. Shit,
It
tough.
is.
It's a tough one. Fuck, dude.
Yeah. So I was walking the routes where I noticed that people throw down their roaches because I am fucking sober. My anxiety is killing me, and most days my anxiety is different and pot won't help. But right now I'm praying for the ganja gods.
Do you have any warrants?
Nope.
Huh? Fuck, man. Shit. I would, but like,
That's the thing about being autistic is that I have no rights unless somebody else cares.
I could, bro. But
If you're able to, if it's not right now.
Not right now, but I'm down later.
Absolutely.
My friend Thomas is gonna come here around 12. He'll do it, dude. He's a good kid. He doesn't do anything, no drugs. Like, he's solid, bro.
Yeah.
He hates cops. Actually, he knows how to talk to cops. He doesn't hate cops. He's like friends with cops.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You'd be the perfect candidate.
Well, except I'm trying to turn in his friends.
Who's Thomas?
Well, you said he's friends with the cops.
Oh, I mean, he doesn't really care for them. It's just like he knows them. I wouldn't say friends, more like acquaintances.
Yeah, that'd be like me in Boulder, Colorado with Officer Ramos. I love Officer Ramos, but he's still a cop.
Right. Yeah, dude, just wait until he gets here. Yeah, he'll do it.
Sir.
He'll do it, bro. Just don't do it right now. Trust me.
Yes, sir. Well, I trust you on that because I can't go in by myself. So I'm just going to wander around until I find a roach.
All right. All right, bro. I'll hit you up around 12.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
Looks like a tall fucker. He has long hair. Looks like one of those guys from 1776.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I can recognize a Quaker.
He looks just like that. He has long hair.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's important to know your community. It's important to know who's in the community. It's also important to pay attention to your surroundings so you know who's doing what. Now, it's not a matter of knowing who's doing what so that you can try to turn them in for every little thing. Most of the things that folks out here do that's illegal, it's not a crime that hurts anybody. It's not a crime that affects anyone but them. Their body, their choice. Hey, Thor. When it comes to autistic people, we don't get that choice. Our bodies are not our own. As soon as you peg us with that mentally ill tag, we have zero rights. You can drug us, you can beat us, you can rape us, and I do mean that literally. I was sexually assaulted in the prison. I was physically assaulted repeatedly in the prisons. Meanwhile, I wasn't a convicted felon. So why was I in prison? Because in Nebraska, if you tell on a cop, they can have you sent as a county safekeep. County safekeep is because your county is either A, too broke for a jail, or B, too cheap for a jail. And as a result, they ship you elsewhere. Here's the thing, I am not one of those people who takes his shit lightly and just lays down and takes it. You lock me up on bullshit, I'm gonna yell the whole time I'm in there. I'm going to scream for my fucking rights. When you assault me for trying to get my legal rights observed, well, you're doing illegal shit. Michelle Decini, with the crimes that she committed against me, well, she's looking at, according to the law, up to 46 years. But then again, I need help turning her in. She's already in prison, though. How about Sarah Nelson? She took part in assisting with putting me on disciplinary for trying to turn in my predators in the prison. Now, I haven't gone through and looked up all the shit that she could be spending in prison, but it's not a little bit of time. Not even close to a little bit of time. But Sarah Nelson is already in prison as well. Michelle Decini was one of the guards at the prison. She is currently serving a sentence in prison for sexual assault against an inmate, and of course, for sneaking cell phones and marijuana and methamphetamines into the prison in her vagina. Yeah. Oh yeah, but if you're a guard, you must be heard. You must be listened to because, of course, you took an oath. You know what? That oath doesn't mean a goddamn thing. How many of you fucking idiots are dumb enough to believe that rent-a-cops are any better? Then, of course, when you try to turn in your predators on the staff there, they'll use other inmates to threaten, harass, and intimidate you, or to just annoy the living fuck out of you. Like what they did with, God, what's that little fucking bastard's name? Reiner Wesley, 88958, sexual assault against a child. Reiner Wesley, 88958, sexual assault against a child. Reiner, that's his first name, or his last name. Wesley, that's his first name. 88958 is his inmate number. Sexual assault against a child is his crime. Who was that child? His 3-year-old brother. And we're not talking about child molestation here. We're talking about straight up rape. He got busted with his parts inside of his little brother. We're not talking about rubbing it on him or just touching him inappropriately. We're talking about actual rape against a child. And this is the man that, well, Officer Ware and Officer, God, his name starts with an H. This was their pet. That's how they treated Wesley Reiner, like he was their pet. Oh, what a cute little Chima. Oh my God, you raped a 3-year-old. Come over here so I can pet you. Good boy, good boy. You're out of your fucking minds. And they do this to autistic people every single day in this country. Well, we've got all these sites that want to talk about, oh, well, you have to get involved in individual cases. They're saying the same things I've been saying for years, but the difference is these content creators are not being abused the way that I am. Many of these content creators, they're in other countries. So what they're allowed to say there versus here in America where we want to sell wives' tales and mythology, well, there's a big difference there, ain't there? Here in the United States, yeah, we are actually at the forefront of autism. The forefront of autism treatment, which, first of all, we don't need treated. I was born with autism, I'll die with autism. It doesn't matter how many drugs you try to shove in me. All those drugs do is make things worse because I'm autistic. My trauma responses are from abuse. They're not from being autistic. The abuse is because people are not accepting of neuro people. You assume that because I think differently than you, that I must be wrong, I must be an idiot, I must be retarded. Well, excuse me, says I'm not the dumbass who believes that ignoring abuse will make it stop. I'm not the dumbass who thinks that looking away helps the victims. No. I know from experience that turning in those predators is what needs to be done. But when you're on the streets, nobody's gonna fucking go in with you. They'll say that they're gonna, but will they show up? Will they actually help you how you need, or are they gonna give you lip service? Now let me tell you about the ladies here at Sinclair. This morning, one of the ladies, she could tell I wasn't particularly feeling good this morning. And she was good to me. She also bought me one of these. What those ladies that intend on helping me with and what I actually need help with aren't quite the same. Now at least one of them, I've been able to explain things a little bit, but the thing about telling people that I'm autistic is that generally that's going to get people to treat me like a retard. Oh my God, a cute puppy! I want to go pet him. Nearly all of these autistic people who are speaking up have the same thing to say about you neurotypicals. You victimize the shit out of us and then tell us it's our fault. We wanted it, needed it, chose it, or deserved it. Yes, that's right. We chose to be autistic. We chose to be victimized, didn't we? We chose to be assaulted, didn't we? We chose for you to, instead of listening to us, lock us up and fucking drug the shit out of us until we don't know what the fuck is going on. My dad is one of the biggest fucking idiots I know. When I was trying to get help because my dad was drinking a lot and abusing the shit out of me, he wasn't abusing me sexually. No, he gets on a power trip and he starts drinking his rum and coke. And of course, he's quit drinking since then because he's had his chest cracked open. But my dad wanted to drink rum and coke. And then, of course, once he's got it in his system, he wants to do the whole lecturing me. So then he lectures me, and then he sucker punches me in the stomach, and then goes right back to lecturing. He got a real kick out of knocking the air out of me because he liked the way that I danced around. I'm not like this because I'm autistic. I'm like this because of abuse. A lot of people say, oh, you can't use autism as an excuse. No. I'm not using it as an excuse. You are. You are using autism as an excuse to harm me and to ignore the crimes against me, to pretend that I'm schizophrenic. This is not okay. We've already established that the wives' tales that you're selling about autistic folk are not true. But yet, we've got judges like Randon Rowland and Judge Weimar. Well, actually, we got judges all across the country that don't give a shit. That's why we got to go to people like Marcia Estrada. But Marcia Estrada isn't going to do shit. We're also supposed to go to people like Penny Cooper, who's not going to do shit. We got to go to people like Lisette Brown, who's not going to do shit. So, as much as I really need to go to the Starbucks and try to get something going and try to search through my evidence and pop up at least a few pieces that I can find, because there's so goddamn much of it. But then again, if I go do that, I might miss this feller at noon, and there's probably about a 90% chance he will not show up, but there's a chance that he might. There's also the fact that I didn't get any sleep last night, and I am probably going to end up passing out in my car here, and it's gonna be a hot fucking day. I'll probably pass out in my car because I'm definitely not safe to drive. And if I end up dead because I'm overheated in my vehicle and I sweat to death, well, that's the way life goes. When it comes to killing Leslie Snell, yes, absolutely, that is necessary. According to you guys. You guys want to push that. You're not willing to go to court, but you're willing to talk about getting violent. The reason you talk about getting violent is because you're too cowardly to fucking speak up. You're not going to fucking shoot those chimos. You're going to go take it out on a homeless person, same as everybody else. You're not going to turn in your daddy for fucking raping you. You're going to go find a fucking homeless person to take it out on, like everyone else. At least I'm trying to turn it in. Now, if there's a homeless person who's willing to make the phone calls with me or to go in to try to turn this stuff in, perfect, a lot more useful. The problem is, I can't go to any of the law enforcement here. I can't go to the state patrol. I can't go to the sheriff's department, and I can't go to the police department because all three agencies have taken part. But there's also the chain of command and the list of shit you got to go through. A lot of people, they want to ignore the fact that you literally have to go through a shit ton of fucking hoops. If you make one phone call with me and it doesn't get us where we need to go, and you just quit after pretending to make an effort, well, you didn't make an actual effort. You pretended to. You did just enough so you could pretend like you did something. Well, congratulations. You just hit my shit list. There's a lot of people whose numbers are going to end up on my YouTube channel because they're scammers. They knowingly, willingly, and intentionally took advantage of an at-risk adult knowing that he was autistic, and that autistic adult is me. Rather than find out what's going on, they chose to victimize me for being autistic. They chose to antagonize the situation knowing that I was autistic. They chose to do these things knowing that I was trying to turn them in because I had to voice it on YouTube so they couldn't try to sell a false narrative. But they did anyway, didn't they? And there's all these people who wanted to type up how messed up it was and how they wanted to help. Did any of them speak up? Any of them? No, not a single one did. Not a single one. Typing on my YouTube channel once every 6 to 8 months, that's not the same thing as speaking out. Those of you who know me in person, you don't know Elijah McClain, but you wanted to post up for weeks about Elijah McClain. You never once posted up about me. How is that okay? Then I'm ostracized from the homeless community for telling the truth, for speaking up about abuse by someone who claimed that, well, how did Darren O'Connor get to his position of power? By pretending he was going to help out the homeless people. In the end, he didn't help out the homeless people. Out of Waylon Lolatai's 7 victims, the only ones Darren cared about were the ones in houses that were minorities. And this is the guy people wanted to tell me to go to over and over. This man who had already stabbed me in the back on multiple occasions. This man who had intentionally and willfully and knowingly misled the situation and misled me. He intentionally created a situation where I would be abused. And he's not the only one. Kinga Nichols did the same thing. My little sister did the same thing. Amanda DeMette did the same thing. Marcia Estrada did the same thing. Penny Cooper did the same thing. I didn't go to a single one of these people just to vent. Not a single one of them. Every single person that I have gone to, talked to, or associated with about this situation is in an attempt to turn it in an attempt to have my rights observed, in an attempt to stop the abuse against all autistic people in this country. Not all of us are lucky enough to be Temple Grandin. Not all of us are lucky enough to be Elon Musk. You care about those autistic people who are given every advantage. But then you support a society that takes away our right and our ability to defend ourselves, protect ourselves, or turn in our predators. I was forced into homelessness because Natalie Bollinger was shot in the head. Forced into homelessness and victimization because my best friend was fucking murdered. And then, of course, we've got the cops here in Hood River. The cops here in Hood River took part in the threats, harassment, and, of course, ultimately assault. Of course, their assault wasn't against me. If they had assaulted me, they would have locked me up. That is their MO. Of course, you guys just want to look away because it's not happening to you. As long as you got a nice, pretty car. As long as you got the shiny new model. as long as you got the Louis Vuitton bag, as long as you have someone that you can blame for all of your faults and all of your problems. Oh, it's not your fault that you chose to victimize an autistic person. You're the victim because you're not autistic. You're the victim because you're not autistic. I must deserve it because I'm autistic. And then you try to sell this narrative that autism and schizophrenia are fucking interchangeable. Holy shit, we got state laws in this country that allow that. In South Dakota, when you are an autistic male in Rapid City, South Dakota, who is being abused to the point that you are in crisis and have a fucking meltdown, they ship you all the way to the other side of the state, an 11-hour drive each way, and they take you to Sioux Falls. It's all the way on the other end of the state, and they put you in a facility that is specifically for people with dementia and people who are schizophrenic. Autism is not dementia. Autism is not schizophrenia. And anybody who supports this in South Dakota deserves a bullet to the head. I know 100% that I should be killing people. I know 100% that all of these people who stabbed me in the back, wasted my time and took advantage of me, destroyed any chance that I have of having a decent life or protecting my family, protecting my loved ones, protecting my friends. Of course, none of them are going to protect me. My little sister took advantage of me for going to her for help. The same thing with Megan Missigatis. Took advantage of me. Now, Megan didn't take advantage of me financially. However, her victimization did result in financial victimization. She is a mandated reporter, and neglect is abuse. The same thing with Tara Smith. The things that I said happened are true. And Tara Smith was able to verify that she did meet with me once before, even though I was called schizophrenic. No matter what I said, I was called schizophrenic. Meanwhile, I've got the evidence to back it up. So, hey, you call me whatever the fuck you want. Why did they call me schizophrenic? Why did they call me delusional? Why did they use the term mentally ill as loosely as they could? Because they committed felonies, they didn't want to get in trouble, and it was important to discredit me and to prevent me from showing evidence. It was important to make me a target of the public because, well, as it stood at Natalie's death, there were a lot of cops that would have not only lost their jobs, but possibly ended up in prison. People like Officer Michael West of Boulder, Colorado. He's the one that was there when I got the protection order from Natalie. By the way, that protection order was illegal. But it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter that it's illegal. It doesn't matter that the courts chose to break the law, chose to ignore the law when it comes to disabled people, when it comes to victims, and when it comes to the accused. These were all kangaroo courts. And the reason that they were all kangaroo courts is because none of them work off of the law. They work off of bias. Now you can hear with the conversation or that whole court date between me and Leslie Snell. You know, it's not just me and Leslie Snell in that court date. There's also the fact that my sister was involved in it. And of course, as always, threats, harassment, and intimidation. I gave up a lot of my life for Dallas Richmond. I gave up a lot of my life for my little sister. Yes, it hurts that they stabbed me in the back. But at the same time, that's not my decision and that's not my fault. You want to blame me for the decisions of others, and then you want to tell me that I've got to take responsibility as if I'm the one who did those things. Oh no. Dallas Richmond made his bed, he can fucking sleep in it. Tara made her bed, she can fucking sleep in it. Michelle Decini made her bed, she's sleeping in it right now. Sarah Nelson, same thing, she's sleeping in that bed right now. Of course, then we got people like Michelle Quinn. Michelle Quinn got fucking probation. She beat the fuck out of her girlfriend and she got probation. And while Nebraska State Patrol tells me it's not their job to police the police, you can see that absolutely it is. It's not their job to police the police, then why did they police Michelle Quinn? That's right, folks. When I said equality, I meant equality. They changed the rules. They tell me that I can't turn in my predators. I have to go to the jurisdiction that my predators live in to turn them in. Then again, I'm also told, oh, well, none of this happened here, so you can't turn it in here. Excuse me, says I. Not once did I ever contact or attempt to contact Natalie Bollinger from Boulder. At no point in time ever did I attempt to contact her from Broomfield. And at no point in time did I threaten Natalie Bollinger's life or the lives of anybody in her family before she was killed. After she was killed, I did do desperate things because, of course, Dual County Sheriff's Department was involved yet again. This is the fifth time that they had been involved in the situation with Natalie Bollinger and her family. Because Natalie Bollinger was dead by that point, but I had Ted Bollinger and Alicia Bollinger fucking harassing me over the goddamn internet on my YouTube channel and trying to create a situation where I had to be afraid for Alicia Bollinger's safety. This is how these horrible people were able to manipulate me, by telling me that they were afraid or creating situations where I had to be afraid for their safety. They preyed on the fact that I'm a good person. A good person. I'm not a decent person. I'm better than that. The thing is, if I have to go in alone, I will be abused. How many times did Miss Peaches actually go in with me? I can tell you how many times she pretended to try. 3 times. 3. She also claims that she made 3 other attempts that she doesn't have any evidence of. She can't tell me what date. She didn't save any evidence. She can't tell me who she talked to. She didn't save any evidence. She can't even tell me which department she called. So here's the thing. I'm prevented from getting a protection order, but the cops will literally go out of their way to do anything they can to help my predators like Alicia Bollinger, Danica Michelle Garner, and of course Rose M. Kelly. These are my predators. What they did is highly predatory. What they did in Virginia was highly predatory, and what they have done since is highly predatory. Denying a man the right to show evidence because he is disabled is illegal. Denying a man the right to make a police report is illegal. They're not even going to pretend if you don't go in with me. All of these people who claimed that they would go in with me, that they would help me to turn this in, those are the only people I needed help from. When they didn't keep their word and then later on they want to pass it off as if it's something else, sorry bitch, I already recorded your bullshit. The police and the public nationwide, as well as people worldwide, have taken part in the threats, harassment, and intimidation because the Bollingers lied. And to this day, nobody has actually helped me to turn this shit in. Nobody has made any effort whatsoever to help actually turn it in. Everybody half-asses it and then makes excuses after I'm out of resources. Do I feel like Mandy Singer ripped me off? Absolutely. Do I feel like she did it on purpose? No. If she comes forward and helps me to turn these things in, I can believe that. However, what was she paid for? What was she given that computer for? What was our agreement? The agreement was that she was going to help me go through that paperwork and help me to turn it in. When she said that she was going to try to go to court with me, that's exactly what I needed. When she let me know that she couldn't because of her family issues, you know, that's what I had to deal with right after Natalie died too. People telling me they couldn't tell the truth because of family issues. Apparently those family issues, like one lady, her daughter had a cold. Apparently her daughter has had a cold for 6 years. Sean, I told you my kid was sick. I don't give a fuck if your kid is sick. I don't. I've been abused for 6 goddamn years. If your kid has got the fucking flu, even if your kid has got fucking cancer, that doesn't stop you from telling the fucking truth. Especially not for 6 goddamn years. Oh, Jesus, I'm pretty sure I just gave myself a concussion. Oh my God. My family does what all of you guys do to autistic people. You blow us off. We're not human to you. We're not as fake as you are. Here's the difference between you and autistic people. You guys, you're liars. You're all liars. Your entire society is based on lying to each other and talking shit about everybody. We don't like fucking small talk. If you're going to help me, don't talk about yourself for fucking an hour. Don't do that. That's not fucking help. While you're busy talking about yourself, you're not busy listening. While you're busy telling me what to think and what to feel, you're not busy listening. That's why you have no fucking clue what's going on. It's not because I didn't try, it's because you didn't fucking care. Fuck you. Autism is trauma. You abuse us for being different. And then you use the fact that we're different as an excuse to commit crimes against us. We're not talking about, you know, just a little bit of schoolyard bullying. We're talking about grown-ass adults who are en masse taking advantage of an at-risk adult. You guys think that as soon as an autistic person becomes an adult, that autism magically disappears. Go fuck yourself, you ignorant piece of shit. I was born with it, I'll die with it. The traits that you guys want to use as an excuse to harm me, well, those are traits that are exhibited and shown by people who have been through mass quantities of abuse. So maybe you should look into the abuse instead of pretending I'm schizophrenic and looking away. Now, the people who knew me admitted that I wasn't schizophrenic. My little sister's a little bit dumb when it comes to that. She's dumb as a fucking stump. There's stuff that my sister is intelligent at. Now, if my sister is lying about the situation, yes, she does need to be prosecuted. Even if she is my sister, we need to set the example that it is not okay to abuse disabled people. Megan Misigatius was supposed to help Dual County Sheriff's Department to understand autism. She never made any effort at it. She claimed that she would. She claimed that she was willing, and then she literally made 0 effort. And that's the problem. I can't trust you if you're not going to make the effort. If you're going to claim that you're going to do something, and then I have to literally blackmail you with the truth. You can either tell the truth about the situation, and you can explain that you didn't keep your word or do your job as an advocate because you have family problems, or I can post up the recording and people can hear exactly what your family problems are. Dee Dee Klang didn't like that. Rachel Klang didn't like that. Becca Klang didn't like that. Rodney Klang didn't like that. Well, you had your chance. You said you cared. You said that you were going to come forward. You said that you would help me. The only thing that would help me is you coming forward and speaking up. If you can't show up to the police station to do that with me, then let's call. At this point, all of these people have committed felonies. Not just Rebecca Klang, not just Rachel Klang, not just Dee Dee Klang, not just Rodney Klang, not just Lana Engeline, not just Amanda Engeline. That's the thing, is that you all victimize us. You think that you can victimize autism out of us. You think that you can beat autism out of us. You think that you can drug autism out of us. You think that if you lock us up on bogus charges, that autism will magically go away. No, 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 no. You know it's not going to go away. You just want someone you can take your shit out on who's easy to victimize. Easy to victimize. The police take advantage of me because I'm easy to victimize. My mom steals from me because I'm easy to victimize. My little sister ripped me off because I'm easy to victimize. Stephanie Mejia took advantage of me because I am easy to victimize. Dual County Sheriff's Department took advantage of me because I'm easy to victimize. Natalie and Alicia Bollinger and Maddie Boa took advantage of me because I am easy to victimize. Ted Bollinger and Tim Beeson took advantage of me because I am easy to victimize. I am an at-risk adult. The reason I am an at-risk adult is because of the mentally ill tag. The mentally ill tag denies you all of your rights. These things that I recorded, there's a reason that I recorded them. There's a reason that I asked these people to come forward and fucking speak the goddamn truth. Why couldn't you go to fucking court, Brandon Ratner, and say the things that I had to record and put on my fucking YouTube channel? Why did I have to do that? Because you're a fucking piece of shit. Miss Peaches, aka Kayla Trujillo, why did I have to record the conversations with her and put them on YouTube? Because she was fucking up. Because she was not keeping her word. Keeping her drug contacts was more important than telling the truth. Maintaining a friendship with my predators was more important than telling the truth. These people took advantage of me, and the police forced me into that situation. The police forced me into that situation all the way in Virginia. When they didn't listen to me, didn't take me seriously, lied to me, destroyed my fucking vehicle. That's right, they broke my vehicle. Intentionally broke it. And when I tried to turn them in, I got the same fucking retarded treatment that I get out of the rest of you. Yes, I should have had help turning in those pieces of shit in Virginia. I should have had help turning in Natalie and Alicia Bollinger in Virginia. But then again, the cops didn't want to hear a goddamn thing I had to say. I'm a homeless person. Why is it that Natalie's family hated me without even getting to know me? Because I'm homeless, and homeless people aren't fucking human to you. Homeless people are garbage to you. Homeless people must all be child molesters. They must all be rapists. Isn't that right? It's not okay to take this shit out on black people anymore, so you take it out on the homeless. It's against the law for you to take it out on Hispanic people, so you take that out on the homeless. It's against the law for you to take these things out on women or children, So, of course, the only acceptable victim that you have left, you can legally victimize the homeless. You can legally break the law and do whatever the fuck you want to a homeless person and play on public bias that everybody who is homeless is a fucking child molester, a rapist, and on fucking drugs. Meanwhile, who's the child molester? And the rapist? That'd be Tim Beeson and Ted Bollinger. Two of the men who wanted to threaten, harass, and intimidate me before Natalie was killed and after. Who the police wanted to ignore all of the crimes of. You know what? All of that situation, all of it, the police needed to take fucking seriously, and they did not. They assisted my predators in getting away with their crimes repeatedly. I didn't choose for you to victimize me, you chose that. I didn't choose for you to slander me, you chose that. You chose that. I also wanted to mention that Becca is one of the biggest pieces of shit. Candace is still a worse person. Candace deserves a bullet to her head too. Why? Because that's what Candace said that she would do to somebody. Yep. Candace did the very thing to me that she claimed she would shoot somebody in the head for doing. So, should I go shoot Candace Wanderup in the head? Yes, I should. According to you. According to Sarah Bacon. According to many, many others. When you spread rumors about somebody like what was spread about me, what you have done is try to destroy my voice and discredit me. And that is never okay. The homeless here in Hood River, just like the homeless in Boulder, Colorado, they deserve it. They deserve every bit of hell that they go through. Every single homeless person in Hood River, other than me, deserves any and all abuse that they endure because they're not willing to help another fucking person to turn in a goddamn police report. They will watch you get fucking raped to death. All of the homeless people in Hood River will do that. All of them, with the exception of me. Now I'm stuck here with alcoholics and meth addicts. And although I don't do alcohol and I don't do meth, I still help out the alcoholics and the meth addicts because they're still people. Good morning. Thank you. One of the alcoholics. Yes, I've helped him out. However, let's get back to the video. Yeah, I know a lot of people out here are on drugs. I know a lot of people out here are on alcohol. I know that we got a lot of child molesters that are dumped off into our community. And we got a lot of schizophrenic people in our community. But there's a big difference between myself and Dean. I'm treated like Dean when I try to turn in my predators. Every single one of these people in Nebraska, every single one of them that I went to for help, broke the law. Every single one of them. Now let me tell you, if Jeff Baldridge had to go to court, and they were making him go to the court and crawl up those fucking steps because he's in a wheelchair. Oh, that would not fly. That would not go well. But then again, that's a disability that you can see. You can't see my disabilities. I have to hide who I am 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I have to make sure that I don't accidentally wink at you because you'll assume I'm on drugs and abuse the fuck out of me and deny me my rights. Police officers repeatedly told hospitals that I was schizophrenic, delusional, and on drugs. The hospitals wrote it down, but it's kind of a funny thing because I never took a whiz quiz. If I had taken a whiz quiz, they would have done what they're legally supposed to. What drugs were in my system? You just wrote drugs because the cops said drugs. If you'd have taken a whiz quiz, almost half of those would have shown up that I was, in fact, under the influence of marijuana. And the other half of the time, it would show that I was under the influence of jack shit. It's not my fault that the homeless are pussies. I didn't make the homeless into pussies. I didn't make them cowards. I didn't make them stupid. I didn't make them get all fucked up on drugs and stab everybody in the back, including their own families. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
The other thing is, there's a lot of people who are out here who are on drugs, but they're not hurting anybody. Matter of fact, they're improving the community. How insane is that? Now, I want to show you something here, all right? If we were in Washington State, look at the ground here. You see how clean that is? That gets filled up with garbage often. Just stuff that blows in. Some of it's garbage from people going by, some of it's garbage from homeless people. But it's a homeless man who comes out here and picks it up. Since he's not here right now, it's a homeless woman and 2 other homeless men who are cleaning it up. You know what that would look like if it was Washington State? It'd be heroin needle, heroin needle, heroin needle, heroin needle, pile of heroin needles, here's some heroin needles, cats, and heroin needles, and more cats. But is that what you see here? Do you see any heroin needles anywhere? Even one? Let me tell you a grand total of all of the drugs and paraphernalia as far as injecting oneself with them that I have found here. I found 1 needle under a bridge way the hell over there. I found a cap to a needle way the hell over there. And I found a foilie that somebody was smoking their meth off of. That's it. That's it. Oh my God, Oregon is fucking so spectacular, given the fact that, well, the decriminalization of it, or we shouldn't call it decriminalization because it's actually not decriminalized. Somebody who is in a house who's caught with enough for personal use, yeah, they'll let him go. If it's a homeless person who's got enough for personal use, it doesn't matter what the law says. It doesn't matter that it's decriminalized. It's only criminal now if you're homeless. Just like, yeah, it's legal for you to smoke pot, but not if you're homeless. Yeah, it's got to be at your own residence. Now, if you go to a friend's house and you want to smoke pot at your friend's house, you can do that. But you can't smoke outdoors. It has to be in a residence. There's a lot of people out here who use marijuana for pain relief, especially those with lumbar problems, and I understand that. Pot actually does help out a bit with my lumbar issues, but not much. The pain doesn't all come rushing back like if I take one of your expected pills. It does hurt a little worse when it wears off, but only a little. Bitter. You dump off all the child molesters on us. You dump off the rapists on us. They dump off the people with severe mental issues on us. And we're forced to take care of them. We are forced to babysit them, because if we don't, anything that those people do will be used to victimize the entire homeless community. When a police officer breaks the law and all of his police officer buddies help him to get away with it, it shows that all cops are bad. You cannot be a cop in the United States if you're a good person. It's not possible. You can be a decent person and be a cop, but the fact that you wear a badge means that you are going to be obligated to break the law. If one of your coworkers breaks the law, and you know that they're friends with your boss, you're not going to turn them in. You're going to take their side, and you're going to tell the victim, well, you got to understand, I got to feed my family. No, fuck you. I hope your goddamn family starves to death. Because that's what you're doing to us. By being fucking cowards with badges, you are killing those of us who are out here doing something. You're ignoring the people committing the crimes, and you're victimizing the victims. And then your excuse is that everybody out here is on drugs. You know what? I don't care if you're on drugs. I don't. Do as many drugs as you want, as long as you're not hurting people. Your body, your choice. Now, there's a lot of situations with the homeless situation where, well, first you have to get in with the community that you're in. When you're the odd man out and you're new into a community and you're different like I am, thank goodness for the homeless community. They're more accepting than the rest of you. But then it's the guilt by association. Being around them actually makes me safer. People are less likely to victimize me when there's somebody else there. Now, like I said, oh hell, they even cleaned this up. Very nice. I needed an autism advocate so that she could explain to these people. I needed my caseworkers and my therapist to explain to these people. That's what I needed from them. I didn't go to them just to vent or just to bitch. I went to them because they're legally responsible. My caseworker and my therapist, that would be Nicole Peralta and, or sorry, not Nicole Peralta, Penny Cooper most recently, and Marcia Estrada. Well, legally they're my guardians. Legally they are. Because of the position that they take and because of the money that they are paid for the job that they didn't do. They took advantage of an at-risk adult. The things that I was told from Penny do not match up with the things that Marcia Estrada said. The things that Marcia Estrada said that Penny Cooper was supposed to do, Penny Cooper had already refused to do. I went to the right places. They refused to do their jobs. They knew that they would get away with it even though they were committing felonies. Especially Penny Cooper. When they refused to do their jobs and they allowed repeated harm to come to me, well, I don't care if they like me for speaking up. If they were good people, they would have spoken up instead of making me do it. If they were good people, they would have tried to help me turn this in. Instead of forcing me to post up on the internet 6 months, 8 months, or a year and a half later, the fact that I told the truth and you fucking lied to me. You misrepresented the situation knowingly, willingly, and intelligently. Now, Megan Misigatis wanted to do that repeatedly as well. The cops got away with the crimes that they committed by pretending that I had an advocate. I didn't. That's not her job. Now then there's a situation with Amanda Daniels. Now she done fucked up big. Like real big. She should have known better. On the bright side, I've got her recorded on my YouTube channel talking about my little brother being a rapist and molesting his own stepdaughter. I've got my sister recorded speaking about that as well. Oh, my sister wanted to hide it too. But I finally got her to admit it. Meanwhile, who was the first person to tell me about that? That was Brenda Dickinson who let me know first. The one who gave me the details, well, that would be Amanda. Morning. I has found no ganja yet, but I'm not dead. So, it's also important to understand where you're at in the community. I know that if I go any further back that direction, I'll be in meth camp. If I go that direction, I'll be in heroin camp. I also know that nobody out here trusts anybody who's squeaky clean. Even if I don't hit the pipe, I do stick it up to my face and pretend to. But never a crack pipe, never a meth pipe, never heroin, only weed. In most places, if you smoke weed, that'll help you to ease your way into the door of the homeless community. And if you can get in the door of the homeless community, they'll protect you somewhat. They'll still watch while the cops arrest you, but they'll protect you from the predators on the streets at least. Some of these folks, I do make sure that I make mention that I smoke pot, because I don't want them being paranoid that I'm some sort of jackass trying to hem them up. No, that don't work. That don't fly. I'm not trying to get my brothers and sisters out here hemmed up. What I'm trying to do is get them help. Most of these folks need the same help that I do. All right, I'm headed back to my car. I'll probably see you a little later. Hey, did you lose your wallet yesterday?
No, I lost the wallet long ago.
All right, well, there was a wallet that I found that had a couple of spurs on it. Not yours? All right. All right. Well, if you know anybody who says they're missing a wallet, send them my way. I'll send them where it's at. Thank you. All right, so that guy that I was just talking to just now, he smoked pot, but you notice I didn't bring up pot or say anything about pot. It's because he already knows I smoke pot. And it's because I know that he's got pot. And if I make mention of not having any pot, he'll actually give me some, and I don't need any. There's a lot of situations where, well, like with my little sister, for example. If you came the first day to help me, she was fucking stoned off her goddamn ass and just couldn't stay focused on a goddamn thing. She was able to focus really well on sorting papers. And when she was coming back the next day, I wasn't too worried about the fact that she had wasted a whole day over sorting everything. I mean, here's the thing. We can't spend 3 days organizing something when I gotta go somewhere. And when I get to where I need to go, I'm gonna have to reorganize it again once we get there. We just need to get it separated enough where we can find things easier. Well, the second day that my sister showed up, it was a fucked up mess. She showed up fucked up.
He just gave me, he says, too heavy to carry home.
Juan or Miguel?
The little guy?
The one that rides the bike?
Yeah.
That's Jose.
Jose, he's walking up. He goes, come here. He pulls us out of the bush. He goes, for you. I said, no, I don't take your cans. You work hard for those cans. He's like, no, too heavy to carry home. He goes, I got plenty.
Absolutely.
Pretty cool. You know what? I've been doing some good things and it's paying off.
Yes, sir. About to offer to drop him off up at Walmart, but I had to remember that I just realized I don't know where I put my man purse. I'm pretty sure I didn't carry it with me because my back is killing me. And yes, if I smoked some pot, it would probably help that out a little bit. But it also put me to sleep. I didn't get any sleep last night. I don't get any sleep most nights. That's the nature of nightmares. See, they're not dreams, they're nightmares. Nobody should have to go through what I've gone through. Nobody should be treated the way that I've been treated. But you know what? You treat all autistic people this way. All of them. Even the pretty ones. The pretty ones you'll treat a lot nicer than us. If a woman is autistic, oh my God, you love the shit out of her. I just found $1. So guess what I'm gonna do? Walk $1. When it comes to the ones who smoke pot, if they know I smoke pot, they'll take it. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna mess with anybody. I smoke pot too. I'm probably not gonna try to smoke pot. That's kind of the with my little sister the second day when she showed up so fucking stoned that shit, she didn't know what the fuck was going on. And she was already spoken with about showing up stoned because the first day was kind of a, you know, I tried to put the best light and the best face I could on the situation, but it was fucked. So the second day, I knew she was fucking stoned off her ass. I knew that she had a vape pen with some THC in it. I asked her if I could take a hit off of that, knowing that I was recording it, knowing that it was essential to make sure that I did get those things mentioned and spoken of and spoken about from her own mouth. Yes, my sister handed me a felony in Chapel, Nebraska. That's because vape is a felony in Chapel, Nebraska. It's a felony across the entire state. Distribution is an even bigger charge. So yes, my sister, because of that recording that I made between her, me, Ed, and Nora, that recording, number one, shows that my sister was distributing drugs. What's considered drugs in Nebraska anyway, it's an extract. It shows that she was not sober for the situation. It also shows the situation where Ed destroyed all that evidence and I had to be nice about it. I said, oh, I'm just going to take a picture of it. And I sure enough did. There's other things in that are crimes committed by Ed, such as threatening to kill people, threatening to assault people, and of course, trying to start a fight with me. I don't mean any offense by this, but Ed would stand about as much chance as a fart in a windsock. Most people can beat me up. Most people. Ed's not capable. I understand that he's bigger than me. He doesn't have back issues, doesn't have knee issues, and he's half my age. Well, not half my age. He's about 7 or 8 years younger than me. Why could I beat him in a fight? You'll have to ask him. He can answer that. I'm not interested in fighting. When he was at Dallas's house, and him and my sister was supposed to be helping me, well, they were busy hanging out. That's what it was for them. It was just hanging out. It was just my sister hanging out with her friend Ed. I might as well have not even been there. At least they put on a good game face when they knew that I was recording it video. But when the video was off, well, that's when the real entertainment got started. Now the 9.5 hours worth of recording that I have from that day, well, it shows that my sister showed up fucked up. It shows that she showed up with marijuana, which I'm fine with her smoking pot, but if she's going to help me, she needs to stay sober. She wasn't sober. She was stoned out of her fucking mind. However, her behaviors and actions were not those of somebody who was stoned out of their fucking gourd. They're the actions and interactions of someone who's mixing their drugs. They're mixing uppers and downers. There's also the fact that Ed and his fucking schizophrenic bullshit got my sister all sorts of paranoid about schizophrenic bullshit. Ed is a fucking schizoaffective. Actually schizoaffective, actually diagnosed. And this is the guy my sister wants to listen to. This is the guy that destroyed an entire computer worth of evidence. And instead of acknowledging it and at least apologizing for it, or saying, man, it's messed up that happened and I'm sorry it happened, what reaction did I get from her? Her making excuses for Ed. Her saying, oh, well, Nora says that she saw him the whole... It doesn't matter what Nora claims at all when it's recorded. Since you're going to claim that Nora said things that are not in that recording, and you want to claim that she said something about a situation that absolutely did happen and is recorded, well, now you're fucking up big. You guys think that autistic people exist for you to victimize, for you to take out all of your shit on, just like you think it's okay to take it out on the homeless. You murder us because of your ignorance. You have hatred for all of us because of your ignorance. You use that one fucked up homeless person that you chose. You chose. And that one homeless person did something bad to you because they were on fucking drugs. Why were you letting them stay in your house? Because they had access to the meth that you wanted, but then they ripped you out for everything that you had. And of course, now you hate homeless people. Why don't you hate meth heads? Because you're a meth head. You are a meth head. Between blaming yourself for your own stupidity and blaming people who are not allowed to defend themselves, you showed yourself to be a supreme coward. God bless America, right? My phone is almost dead, and I'm not sure if I can find my external chargers in this mess. How am I supposed to organize this stuff when this is what I have to work with? This is the space that I have to work within. I do set my stuff outside of my door and have my door open part of the day, because right now, not that you can tell, but I'm sweating. I got my door open, but I'm still sweating. Where the hell are... Here's two of them. I guess I'm gonna have to start up my car and eat up some battery in order to get this done. So we'll get on it. You choose to victimize us over your ignorance, over bias and wives' tales. This is not legal. In a court of law, well, the evidence needs to be seen. Instead of allowing slander and denying a man the right to defend himself against that slander, denying him the right to his evidence, cutting him off from his evidence, stealing his evidence so that he can't show it, and selling a false narrative. No, these people intentionally set it up so I wouldn't be allowed to show it, because they fucked up, and they wouldn't have fucked up that big if somebody would have actually made an effort to help. Miss Peaches made zero effort to help. She just wanted my pot and my cigarettes. See, here's the thing about what they said that they would do versus their actions. Their actions show me different. Some of you want to go, oh, well, your actions show that you're a horrible person. No, my actions show that I took a lot of fucking abuse before I cursed at anyone. It shows that I took a lot of abuse before I fucking asked for help. Why? Because I know what happens when a homeless person asks for help. They get blown off by everyone, including the other homeless. That guy who said he'd come back at noon, I don't know if he will or not. I hope he does. I just met him on the trail back there. I know he's going over to the meth camp. I know I'm not exactly welcome at the meth camp because I don't do meth. So everybody in that camp is paranoid of me, with the exception of Laura. But then again, Laura's sick of dealing with the meth heads. You know? Yeah, meth heads get sick and tired of the other meth heads stealing from them. Imagine that. How strange is that? Oh my God, I love this town. There are no black people in Chapel, Nebraska. And I don't know how to express to y'all how much it makes me feel safe to have black people in the environment. Chapel, Nebraska, people blame everything on blacks and Mexicans, and there ain't none there. They spend $1,500 a month buying booze down at the bar. $1,500 a month. And then they complain that blacks and Mexicans are the reason that they're broke. Yeah, no, that's like blaming unicorns. There's no unicorns in Chapel, fucking Nebraska. You want to blame unicorns because you're always broke? It's about the same fucking thing. Yes, maybe a black person or a Mexican might travel through Chapel, Nebraska. Once in a while, one of them might get the bright idea to try to stop and live there. Of course, it's KKK territory. They're going to get run out. That's just how it's going to be. That's a fact. However, I had some folks that walked by and waved at me, and oh, they was black folks, and that just made me feel all sorts of better. Anyway, with everything about to die, I better start my car and allow it to charge up. There's a lot of autism sites. A lot of them. And some of them are bullshit. The Aspie world, Well, it was okay to begin with, but now it's become commercialization to make that man money. The man who this video is named after, well, it's not about making money for him. He is trying to be honest about it. See, there's the sellouts, the ones who go, oh, well, more normal people will watch my channel and I'll get more money if I tailor it and cater to the neurotypicals. You're not helping us out. You're a fucking piece of shit if you're catering to neurotypicals, because you're not educating them. You're also not helping out individual cases, which is what it takes to make the changes that we need. It's called case law. It means you have to actually put the effort forward and help get it into court. If you stab me in the back, I'm going to speak out. It's my right to do so. Anyway, it's good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper, and no victim left behind.